Last we left off, our party, through some preparation, uh, got themselves ready for the big sparring day with between Faelan and Rominic. The day came, and things kind of started out okay. It was a rather intense fight. That is until Faelan dropped. Upon reaching critical levels of health, something snapped, and Faelan almost went into a reverse anti-form, for lack of a better term. After an intense battle and trying to subdue Faelan, the party was able to intervene and...
It's almost died.
Yeah. Multiple people got extremely hurt.
Oh.
Nessa got lit on fire.
What? No, I was killed first,
Sorry
and then
about
I got,
that.
and then I got killed first. Rominic brought me back with some of his health, and then I was lit on fire.
And we start.
You're so right.
We begin our session in the infirmary after everyone's been checked in and checked out. So, party. Faelan is out cold. He is, for lack of a better terms, in a short-term coma. The nurse does not know when he will wake, just that he should be awake in the next few days.
I assume that Nessa would also be in the infirmary after.
Oh yeah, you all were brought there.
All of that.
You were all brought there, Matthew included, to get yourselves patched up. Gaia is there as well. There is shards of glass sticking out of her arms from when she tried to break open the dome. That is, she's painfully slowly being pulled out.
Real interesting technique there. I don't know what she was thinking there.
Matthew is just sitting next to Faelan's bed, just dead faced and unsure really of what to say or do.
Zen's gonna go and sit on the other side and just trying not to touch Faye, but really just wanting to hold his hand so bad. So you see, like, his hand is, like, right next to him on the bed, and just, like, fingers twitching every so often, just like, I want to, but I shouldn't. I want to, but I shouldn't. My poor baby. My poor brother. Oh, God.
Faye, can you make me that notice roll?
He's just spiraling.
You guys can keep...
Nessa's at the end of the bed where, like, and Phelan's feet are, and she's, like, just gently, like, holding his feet together. Just, like, almost barely noticeable, but it's, like, she can't hold hands, so she's holding, like, the end of his feet, over the blanket and stuff like that.
Once Gaia has all of the glass removed and her arms wrapped, she kind of strolls over, both arms in like a sling. Are you three all right?
Nessa's not even looking at her. She's just Nessa doesn't even want to look at Gaia right now. She's so pissed at her right now.
Zen's
Nessa doesn't care. Nessa doesn't say anything.
Zen doesn't take his eyes off of Faye because he thinks that if he looks away for even a second, that something terrible's gonna happen. So just still looking at Faye. Are you okay?
I've been through worse, so do not worry about me. But
How's Rominic?
He is okay. Before we get into him, you do me a favor.
Zen still can't break eye contact with Faye.
Can you move his sleeve on his left arm?
Zen will very carefully move his sleeve.
Yeah, so you roll his sleeve up to his elbow, and the mark that was once there
Wait, they left the trench coat on?
No, he's in a nightgown, or like a hospital gown.
Oh, okay, got it.
But you roll it up, and the black tendrils that were crawling up his arm is now nothing but a small speck.
Is that good? Is that better?
I will have to confer with Master Remna, but I think so.
Can you expedite her coming home?
I have already contacted her, and she is on her way as we speak. She should be here by tomorrow.
What about Master Roxas and Shion?
They are unable to be contacted at this point in time.
Nessa's just kind of shaking a little bit, and she's like, why wasn't Master Rimna here in the first place?
Family. It is the week of thanks.
And then she's just like, and then she just kind of whispers to herself, like, Master Rimna was the one who should have been here. And then she just kind of starts crying a little bit.
Zen just reaches and just puts a hand on Nessa's shoulder, just providing.
I cannot express my and you see she hesitates for a second. Words don't seem to come easy to Gaia. She seems to be more of a, as you can probably tell, she seems to be more of a person of action rather than words. Words cannot describe how sorry I am for allowing this to happen. None of us could have known that something of this caliber would occur, but nonetheless,
we should have listened to him.
She sits down in a chair within the area, and I will take full responsibility.
Zen's still not looking up, and just, we should have listened to him. We should have listened to Faye. He was scared. He didn't want to do this.
Nessa just gently pats Faye's legs and just continues kind of just silently crying a little bit.
When he came to me, he was unsure of which direction he wanted to go, as to if he wanted to go through with this fight or not. In my attempts to assure him informed him of how the safety measures that occur within the sparring field.
And then Nessa just suddenly stands up as she said that.
However,
and is just shaking.
Something happened. As you see, none of the safety measures triggered. I have Kurova looking into it now, but we believe that they had been sabotaged.
Nessa just kind of turns around, just like her eyes are angry and there are tears streaming down her face, and it's like, you were supposed to protect him, Master.
I know.
And then she just kind of looks down, and then she just slumps back down and just puts her face in her hands, just outright crying at this point.
Believe me, I only wish I could have gotten to him sooner. And I am very disappointed in the safety measures being able to be overwritten so easily. We will find out what happened. We will ensure that something of this caliber does not happen again. She kind of looks. She looks between the two of you. It is good to see that he has friends that care this much for him.
Nessa just kind of gives a big like sniff and just starts to wipe at her eyes, and she's like, Faye is more than a friend to me. He's a little brother. And she turns back and holds his feet again, just gently, and kind of ignores Gaia at this point.
Zen's just squeezing Faye's hand and just... What was any of that?
I'm unsure.
What?
As I mentioned before, Rimna would be the one to have the answers. She's been informed, as well as sent the security feed of the incident, and she is reviewing them now. She returns, she should be able to give us an adequate answer as to what's transpired.
You said you'd loop back to the Rominic point.
She gives a small sigh before standing up again. Would you like to join me?
I don't feel comfortable leaving Faye right now.
Nessa kind of looks at Zen and is like, you got things here?
Yeah.
Matt looks over at you two. You guys can go. I'll be here.
Nessa just again wipes her eyes and she's like, okay. And she stands up and she faces Gaia. I want to see Rominic.
Zen is a lot more hesitant, but eventually just leans down, whispers to Faye, just, I hope you can hear me, bud. I'll be right back, okay?
Matthew just gives you
Zen's
guys...
just full crying.
Matthew gives you guys a small smile before reaching over and giving Faye a squeeze.
Okay.
But
I pat Matt on the back as we walk out of the room.
Gaia begins to walk you guys out of the infirmary. And the direction she takes you seems to be going towards her office. Rominic is a special case. He will be fine. He is currently out for the count.
What
But
is
he's
he,
okay.
Master Gaia?
That is a good question.
You let him into the academy not knowing what he is?
No.
It's just complicated.
It is extremely complicated. And not something
Nessa
that I
just-
can quite inform those who do not have the proper permissions.
Nessa just kind of smacks the palm of her hand against her forehead, and she kind of looks at Gaia angrily, and she's like, just tell us what the fuck he is.
I can't.
Because he hurt our friend.
I can't. There
Nessa
are
just
rules.
kind of
There are rules
Nessa
in
just
place.
kind of pouts.
There are rules in place for a reason. If and when you three are given the permissions, then we will discuss it.
Again, and Nessa just
So
puts
for
her
now-
arms angrily over her chest and just, huffs, and she's like, fine, whatever.
So for now, we just get to go with the assumption that he is some kind of fucking darkness pudding.
She kinda...
Big fucking gelatinous thing of pure darkness that goes into a fucking doll.
What you can go off of is that he, in his arrogance and irritating attitude, is an ally.
Well, I'm still mad at him.
You have every right to be. However, I wanted you to follow me for more than just Rominic. At this point, you guys would reach her office, and she goes to grab the door, but looks down and both of her hands are in a sling.
I'll get the door.
Before we go in, I need you to understand something, Zen.
Zen is just deadpan.
We attempted to use the memory with Vantis.
You
Nessa
promised
kinda
I could be there.
I know, but I believe that this was the better option.
Zen swings the door open.
You guys see Gaia's office. It looks rather normal. And you see about a figure and a half on the lounge couch. The half of the figure you see, for lack of a better terms, the upper half of Rominic.
Like doll Rominic or
Doll
darkness
Rominic.
pudding?
Doll
Okay.
Rominic. He is no jacket. It is pure porcelain body, cracked, but you watch as some of the cracks seal shut.
That's freaky.
I actually can give an image for chat. Do you have Rominic, Damie, that you can send me? But I can give chat an image for Rominic.
He hunted.
But he is currently no light within his eyes. Just you can see the darkness, tendrils slowly forming this porcelain doll, basically.
Horrifying. Cool.
Nessa is actually kind of fascinated. Like Nessa just kind of looks like her anger is kind of gone for the moment of like she's just really really fascinated because of what Rimna has taught her about the light and the darkness and all that kind of stuff, and she's just she wants to go over. Oh, there he is.
Big boy.
There he is.
Oh, he hiding.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, there he goes.
There he is.
There he is.
Little bastard man.
But
Boy.
Nessa's just fascinated, and she's not touching him, but she is like she's kind of knelt down beside him and just kind of is watching as he's recovering.
He doesn't respond at all. But the form or the person sitting next to him, it's weird. You feel like you know this person. Like he looks like Master Roxas. But he's got a small black streak through his hair.
I am puzzled.
Hi.
Yeah.
Zen's just standing in the doorway, waiting for Gaia to explain shit.
It genuinely looks like an older Roxas with the black
Roxas
streak.
if he was allowed to age.
Yeah.
So Nessa kind of tears her eyes away from Rominic and looking at, and she's like, Master Vantis?
He kind of raises an eyebrow at that and looks over at Gaia and goes, Gaia, you didn't tell me I became a master.
Zen's just staring, like, not saying anything, just, oh, here we go again.
Gaia leans over to you, Zen. He remembers up to the founding of this academy. Doesn't really remember much from there. He has been informed of what's been going on, though. He is coherent enough.
Why does he look like Master Roxas?
It's more Roxas looks like him. It's a very, very long story.
Zen's just looking just so lost.
Young Vantis stands up and moves over to offers a hand to both Nessa and Zen.
Nessa hesitantly takes it and smiles kindly. Hi.
Hi, I'm Vantis.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, although from what I understand, we've met before.
A little bit, maybe in the future. And she lets out a little chuckle after that.
Poor Zen is just not coping right now.
Yeah, he looks over to
There's
Zen.
too much happening. He's dying.
He looks over to Zen, hand extended. And you must be my apprentice?
Yeah.
Well,
Zen.
He kind of chuckles and looks over at Gaia and goes, ha! Looks like I got the stronger one.
Nessa will wreck your shit, my guy.
I'm not talking about Nessa. I'm talking about, and he points over to Rominic.
Zen just immediately relaxes and hand on hip. And he's like, I mean, you're not wrong.
Nessa turns her attention back to Rominic and just sees and just she's just like, can we get those permissions now to know what Rominic is? She says this and she says this in a way where she knows she's gonna get a no answer. But she asks anyway.
Gaia sighs, and it's not my place to offer those permissions.
Whose is it?
So
then?
when he's not broken anymore, we just need to get it out of him. I can do that.
Him and one other. Although
Who's the other?
They have asked me for secrecy.
Nessa just goes,
considering what went down, I kind of get it.
Nessa doesn't. She's just like tearing her hair out. She's like, our best friend was almost killed by this dude, and we don't get to know. Like, how is this fair? And then she's just like,
be fair, your friend, Faelan had it quite in his favor.
Yeah, Faye had a little bit too much under control and no control at all.
Nessa just grumbles, and she's still really, really angry.
Also, Nessa loved to be fair. If it wasn't for him, those permissions broken, I don't know if you would have walked out of there.
Nessa just kind of looks down and just, whatever. And
He still sucks. He's arrogant, he's mean, he manipulated Faye into this entire thing.
But he meant
But he
well.
did try and keep us safe once we had to get in there.
He did mean well.
And I'll give him that.
He informed me later that he knew of a way to... Well, not later, but later than when I talked to Faye. He informed me that he knew of a way to release whatever pent-up darkness was forming within Faelan's body. I just did not know it was going to be that.
Should have asked for more details first.
Or he could have just communicated. Let's not put it on Master Gaia. That's not entirely fair. He should have communicated like an adult instead of toying around it like it was a game.
I should have asked for clearer information. I will take responsibility for that. But I trust him as much as I trust you two.
Again, Nessa's just kind of grumbling, but she's like, okay.
Vancis chuckles and
Zed's so frustrated.
Vancis chuckles and moves over, putting an arm around Gaia, like, yeah, you should have seen when she was younger. Trust? Pfft.
Oh. And Nessa's just like, okay.
You can see the vein pop on Gaia's forehead.
Nessa just kind of gives a slight chuckle at that, and she's like, okay, at least we got a Gaia roast. And then she laughs a little bit.
Changing of the topic from me, I think it would be best if you two got some rest while we wait for Rimna to return.
With all due respect, Master Gaia, I don't see that happening, whether I was in the hospital room or not.
I
So
understand.
Nessa
I
kind of-
will be going back.
We will ask that, from what I understand, Faelan has bonded with one of our chocobos within the barn. If one of you could assist in caring for him while Faelan is in the infirmary.
Nessa like raises her hand without question. Yes. Yes. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Be careful though, Nessa. Fyra's not really comfortable around people that aren't Fae.
And she nods very enthusiastically at that, and she's like, "Yes, I get it. But Fyra will love me." And she's like, "Yeah."
Vantis
She's pretty excited about it.
Vantis looks over at you, Zen. Well, if you can't relax, I've got a job for you then, because I'm still your master.
Zen smiles at that, but does not really. He's just like, this is a lot.
Look, I get that you want to take care of your friend, but the best thing to do for someone who's in this sort of situation is to give them rest. With you guys hanging around worrying the heck out of yourselves, it's going to affect him.
I'll be worse if I'm not there.
You can still go. I'm not saying you can't. What I'm saying is, don't spend your whole time there. I think that going and visiting is healthy, but you shouldn't have more than one of you there at all times.
You can't say that around Matthew. He'll never leave. Boy doesn't know how to take care of himself.
Kinda have to do it for her own.
We need somebody else there.
One person I think would be fine, but going and visiting, even if it's, just a couple of minutes every hour, sure, but health-wise, you really don't want to smother them. Too many people will cause issues, so
All right, so when do I get to meet Fyra? And then Nessa just kind of has a small smile on her face.
right now if you want to.
All right, so Nessa is just like, okay, and then now she finally has something to latch onto, so she starts making her way down to the chocobo, to the chocobos, to go see Fyra.
You and me, I need to know where you stand, strength-wise.
Okay, then.
Van smiles and gives a little bit of a head nod to follow. Nessa.
Huh?
Actually,
That's the guy's fault.
really quick, before Nessa, hey,
Uh-huh.
Hello.
it is quiet. It's gotten very quiet since the other two had left.
Mm.
You can't see anything, but you can feel and you can hear. It's hazy, but you can understand what's going on. And all you can feel at this point is just a warmth next to the bed.
Noted.
Nessa,
Uh-huh.
You make your way down to the barn, kind of peeking through each stall. You finally find the one marked Fyra.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
She hesitantly pokes her head around the corner and to take a peek in at Fyra. Doesn't actually go into the pen or anything, just wants to kind of gauge how Fyra is feeling at the moment.
You do see somebody inside of the stall with Fyra. You recognize Meredith, although you've never seen her in overalls. Usually she's in the store uniform, but now she's standing there in these dark blue overalls and a plaid shirt, brushing down Fyra.
Hello.
Oh, hey.
You're Meredith, right?
Yeah. We've met a few times. Are you?
Yeah,
Are you okay? I saw what happened. I mean, I was there at the sparring ring, but everything all right? You okay?
Nessa just kind of sits there motionless for a second, and then she immediately like starts like, oh yeah, yeah, I'm okay. It's I'm okay. I'm good. Everything's great. We're just waiting for Faye to get better, you know.
Good. Yeah, how's he doing? Come on in.
Oh yeah. And she hesitantly, walks in, not wanting to spook Fyra or anything.
As you step in, Fyra immediately comes over, sniffs you, and then immediately buries their head in your chest.
Oh, they can smell Faye.
And Nessa is like, oh, hi, and she gives Fyra a little scritch on the head, just kind of, gently scritching and seeing where Fyra likes to be scritched and everything.
Oh, it's not every day you can see a chocobo see that you're a friend, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, and she looks back at Meredith and she's like, I think I might have a way with animals or something, but she also looks down at Fyra and is like, maybe Fyra can smell Faye on me. And she kind of gives Fyra a gentle hug.
Yeah, I kind of figured that with him being in the infirm, he wouldn't really be able to come out and brush this little one's coat, so I was going to do it, but if that's what you're here for, I can head out.
Oh, you're fine. Here, let's brushing him down together. I think Fyra would I think Fyra would enjoy the company.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. She reaches into one of the pockets in the overalls and tosses you a brush.
Cool. So she starts like looking at Fyra and like, all right, where do we like I have no idea what I'm doing.
Just don't go against don't go against the feathers. Don't go against the feathers, and just
okay.
Kind of wherever you see there's possibly a bit of a entanglement of the feathers or anything, just light strokes.
All right. And Nessa just kind of starts doing that, and she just kind of like and as she's stroking, she just kind of starts crying a little bit without even realizing it.
You okay, hon?
Huh? And she kind of looks up and then notices that she's crying, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry. And she just kind of turns around and starts like get it together, get it together, get it together. And she kind of goes, okay. And then she turns around with a smile and she's like, I think I'll be okay. Today was a little bit rough.
I can imagine. Well, if you need any help or anything, just let me know. I'm not working the shop this week, so.
Do you do more than just the shop? Do you tend for the chocobos as well, usually?
Yeah, I grew up on a farm, and so it's kind of more of my hobby to come out here and tend to the animals. I mean, someone's gotta.
Yeah, I never grew up on a farm. I grew up in the city, so. But Nessa just kind of gritches Fyra again. Just, I've always had a thing for animals, and she just kind of looks down and shyly, and she's like, I always wanted to. I think it would be cool to grow up on a farm.
It's not all it's cracked up to be, but I mean.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And if you don't like waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning every morning, well, then you kind of...
And then Nessa kind of makes a face at that. Ugh.
Yeah, you're kind of SOL at that point. But it's worth it.
You think?
Oh, yeah. And besides, you say you have a way with animals, and looks like they definitely have a love for you, so.
Mm-hmm. And then she just kind of brushes down Fyra, just, and... So, what's your favorite thing about chocobos, Meredith? What's your favorite?
She pauses in her brushing before you just see this wide grin and turns and looks you dead in the eyes, and the racing.
Oh, I didn't. What?
You want to give it a shot?
Nessa starts to panic a little bit, but she's like, okay, sure, okay.
She reaches up and kind of gives Fyra a pet on the beak to get his attention, and you up for a ride? And you just hear it.
Ah.
And she smiles and goes out of the stall and comes back a minute later with a saddle, strapping Fyra up.
Oh, we're doing this. Oh, we're actually doing this. Oh, okay.
Have you ever rode a chocobo before?
Nessa just kind of looks at her deadpan and she's like, never.
All right, well, that's fine. She comes over to you, Nessa. All right, you ready to get up?
Yeah, sure.
She grabs you by the waist and lifts you up almost impossibly. Like, she looks scrawny, mind you. She's very thin, and she just lifts you with ease up into the saddle.
Thanks. I appreciate the help.
And immediately hops in behind you.
Okay.
All right. So.
What do we do next?
Grab the reins.
Okay.
You pull
got him.
You pull this way to turn left, this way to turn right. You do this, and
okay.
She starts instructing you kind of how to get Fyra moving.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to need you to make me a knowledge creatures roll.
A knowledge creatures. Here, hold on. My cat's in my lap. She's biting my hands. I gotta. Here, hold on. Let me see. I give him a hand. Okay, a knowledge creatures roll. Okay, so that's a d6 for me. Whoa. I got a 4.
A 4? Okay. It's a struggle. At some point, Meredith reaches around from behind you and kind of helps guide the reins. But you guys do make it onto the chocobo track, and immediately Fyra is boom, gone.
And
He's been pent up. He is ecstatic to be out in the field, and it is just a blast. And you feel like if it wasn't for the fact that Meredith has you sort of like almost seatbelt levels like strapped in her arms, you would fall off immediately.
This is, and then Nessa just kind of gives up a whoop. This is so much fun. Oh my gosh. And she just kind of, she's just laughing at this point. She's just laughing her head off at this point.
Zen, we'll move over to you now.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So
We
Zen,
had our cute, now it's back to the trauma.
Vantis is directing you towards the sparring, the training sparring area.
Okay, good, because we don't need Zen starting to have a panic.
Yeah. And you actually do see he's kind of smiling, like he's very ecstatic at this point. So, Gaia told me that you're kind of a loose cannon.
I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's a fair assessment.
Is she wrong?
I know you can't remember it, but no, you had me pretty well centered when it come to actual combat. Outside of combat, sure, maybe.
Nah, that's cool. That's fine. I think that makes for a very interesting person.
Zen's just trying to not think about shit right now.
So, I'm curious. What do I look like later on? Do I look good?
I mean, you don't exactly look like Master Roxas anymore.
That's definitely a positive. He did always like to steal my looks, so.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know it's a little bit confusing. It's an extremely long story.
Surprised you've never told me.
I am too, honestly. Long story short, Roxas is partially my nobody.
Oh.
Partial. It's a very, very long story short.
Gotcha. Well, when he eventually gets back home, we should see if he's willing to let me know more.
Oh, I'll let you know. I don't care. But it's gonna have to be a sort of over a meal, long talk sort of thing.
Right.
But I just wanted to get a little bit of a gauge of your skill level. And as you guys step into the sparring arena, he turns and faces you. All right, Mammy.
Zen, with zero hesitation, goes, summons Keyblade and immediately is gonna rush him.
As you swing at him, he grabs your Keyblade. Not with this.
What?
Not with this.
Oh. DM, I don't know how to fist fight. DM, I don't know the rules.
He never said no spells.
Okay. Okay. But I use my Keyblade to cast my spells.
Well, you're gonna have
So
to
that's
learn.
kind of an oxymoron.
You're gonna have to learn how to not. I'm honestly surprised we never taught you this. And you watch as he reaches out, holds a hand out, and casts Fyra up against one of the training dummies.
Then just stares. Can I attempt to cast?
Make me a combination of mind and heart.
So 11.
11. Okay. So you hold your hand out and you gotta, you focus as hard as you can. And then you kind of hear Vantis just murmuring, just imagine your hand as an extension, just like your Keyblade. And you focus harder before... What are you casting?
Rivera.
Okay. Yeah, you focus on the training dummy as you watch it just collapse into the ground.
Huh.
See? You got this. Not always are you going to have access to your Keyblade. And in times of need, you're going to need to be able to do, work your way around it.
Right.
Now, go ahead and change into your drive.
My what?
Your drive form.
I don't have a drive form.
What am I doing? Okay, well, I guess I guess that's where we're gonna start.
Zen is just deer the headlights.
Listen. Your strength, all of us, comes from your heart. But it's not always a tapped resource. Some scientists have discovered recently that we only use about 5% of our brain. Well, the same can be said of our heart. But the nice thing about being a Keyblade user is it's really easy to unlock things. I'm going to be taking the next few days to try to help you find that lock and open it. Sound good?
Yeah.
It's going to be busy work.
I kind of feel like I don't have another option here.
Oh, you've got an option. You can just wait to do it naturally. But from what I understand, you guys have been in tough spots more times than you can count. And a drive form will help with that.
Fair enough.
So, you ready to get to work?
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright. Day 2. We will be skipping into the next day. And you know what you need to do, Faye. As you guys went and checked on, because I'm assuming that you guys would go and check on Faye every now and then throughout the rest of the first day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Matthew has stayed by his side constantly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally only leaving when I'm forced to.
Nessa makes sure that, you know, she gets enough time with him as she needs, and then goes off and takes care of Thyra with Meredith and practices chocobo racing.
Okay. Yeah, you are going to be pulled pretty consistently Zen. Every now and then you will get a break to go check on Faye, but Van is putting you through the ringer.
Fair.
So, however, at some point while you guys are sitting in the infirmary, which, mind you, Matthew has not left once. You guys find out that he actually even stayed up all night in the infirmary.
Be spending the night there too.
At some point, well, you would have to take turns if you guys are going to stay the night, because, again, only one person. But Matthew refuses to move from that chair.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can, during the night, go and check on him, but at some point, visiting hours end. As you guys are sitting around Faye, That Bad Habit, thank you so much for following. Welcome to the Glacier, my friend. I hope you have yourself a chill time. This session's a little botched as far as the notifications go. And that's my bad, and I apologize. But as you guys are sitting around Faye, Rimna actually enters the room.
Nessa immediately stands up. Master! And she kind of goes over to Rimna and just kind of gives her a hug.
She gives you a big squeeze back.
Master Rimna, we've missed you. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing a lot better than you guys, obviously. Where is he?
He's over here, and she literally just drags Rimna over to where Faye is.
She follows just as quickly. She's used to Nessa's antics at this point. And looks over at you, Zen, and Zen.
Master Remna.
How's he
And then
doing?
Nessa immediately goes to Faye's arm where the spot was and pulled up the sleeve, and she shows Rimna, okay, so there was a black spot on Faye's arm earlier, and now it seems to have grown smaller, and so we're not entirely sure what that means.
Okay, well, she moves over and pulls out her gummy phone. And it looks like she takes a picture of the spot.
Mm-hmm.
And then she starts scrolling through whatever application she seems to be on. So Gaia informed me that about the growth of darkness.
Uh-huh. I just wish that Gaia had waited I wish that Gaia had postponed the fight until you got here, Master Rimna.
Well, I was supposed to be here a couple of days ago, but unfortunately family convinced me to stay late.
Well, whatever happened, and well, what matters is that we're okay, I guess. And she just kind of slumps down and is just really, really tired.
If my theory is correct, Faelan here is just tired. He exerted a lot of energy and a lot of strength to do what he did. And so I'm going to assume he'll be up in the next day or so. He just needs rest.
Nessa just kind of gives a nod and is like, okay, just as long as he's gonna be all right. And then Nessa just kind of freezes, and she's just like, what are we gonna tell him when he does wake up?
I'm gonna tell him the truth. I'm gonna tell him exactly what happened.
Nessa just kind of nods solemnly and sadly, and she's like,
But
do you think he needs to hear it from me? Or I don't know if I can do it. I'll let you handle that, Zen.
He deserves to know the truth, and we all know that he would not handle it well if we tried to sugarcoat anything.
If nothing else, we reinforce that this changes nothing.
Of course.
Well, obviously, yeah.
It would never change anything.
Nessa nods very enthusiastically at that. Nothing. He's still Fae.
Yeah.
I just want him to be okay. And I give his hand another squeeze.
So, I'm going to work on something when he wakes up to help him with this.
Okay.
Rimna kind of perks up and, well, I have plenty of notes for you to work on. From what I hear, he had a rather large pool of darkness built up.
Mhm.
It was pretty far up his arm, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if it's just on his arm, then it doesn't seem like that large of a pool, but
Here's
Is
the
there
weird
any-
part, though. I don't know how much Master Gaia has updated. The form was white.
really,
Yeah.
Like stark white.
Not like it is very similar to the anti-form, but it was all white instead of black. And his eyes were red and not yellow.
interesting.
And
I know.
it triggered when Rominic cast a light spell.
Well,
Instead of darkness.
yeah, usually light will trigger a reaction from darkness, but that is curious, the form that he would have taken. I wonder.
Mm-hmm.
She moves over to the nurse, and if either of you want to make me a notice check.
I'm terrible, but I'll try.
Oh, I'm terrible as well, but I'll try as well.
Our notice is unconscious.
I got a 5.
I also got a 5.
Okay.
Ooh.
You
We noticed
hear
the same amount.
you hear Rimna ask for a blood sample.
Mm-hmm.
Good thing he's unconscious.
Well, they would have had to take some samples for the for the diagnosis.
Fair.
So
So
she
there's blood already out.
Yeah. She comes back into the room with a vial being tucked into her pocket. I'll run some tests and see what exactly was going on with our friend here.
Okay. Thanks, Master Master Rimna. Sorry, I've been dealing with Gaia a lot, and she's just like laughs weakly.
She gives you a pat on the head. Nessa, it's fine. I'm sorry I was gone. I can't exactly say no to this family, so.
Okay, I understand, family, Master Rimna. Thank you for being here.
Speaking of which, did you go and see your mother during this week?
We're on campus harass.
Yeah, Nessa is just like, yeah, I haven't been able to visit, unfortunately.
She
Master
glares.
Gaia kind of put us on campus arrest until you got back.
She squints. I'll be right back.
Oh no. Oh, I made a mistake.
Nessa just kind of looks over and she's like, Nessa kind of gives a little bit of a smirk and goes and then squeezes Faye's hand and she's like, thank you, Master Rimna.
She steps out of the office, or out of the infirmary at this point. Matt has not taken his eyes off of Faye. He has almost been statuesque, not moving since you guys saw him yesterday.
Hey,
Nessa
Matt.
just kind of reaches over and like, pats Matt on the back a little bit and is like, "Can I get you anything, something to eat, bud?"
I'm fine. I had some food before.
And then Nessa just kind of stands up and she's like, "Well, you need more." And then so she's like, "Okay, I'm going to the cafeteria. Tell me what you want right now or hold your peace, Matthew."
Water.
Okay, water. What do you want to eat? I'm going to choose for you if you don't choose.
You know he can't resist those pastries from Mooglebucks.
Cool. I'll get those. So she walks out and
Nessa, could I
plans to
please have
get
a
water and
coffee?
pastries. Yeah. And she gives a
Thank you.
thumbs up on her way out.
You, as you step out, you see, Rimna. She seems to be on the phone, yelling.
Oh.
Nessa
shit.
just kind of like looks over slyly and just smirks even more and continues towards Mooglebucks.
Yeah, you're able to go grab some food and drink. Zen, what are you doing?
Yes. So looking across Faye's bed to Matthew, just... So I'm not gonna force you to do anything. But you know that if Faye wakes up and finds out that you haven't rested, he's gonna be really upset.
Are you,
You
gonna
promised him you were going to be better.
Are you gonna tell him?
I don't want to have to.
Then don't.
Matt,
I want to be here and awake when he wakes up. I would do the same for you, and I would do the same for Nessa.
I understand that, but I know that you are not taking care of yourself.
I've been worse.
That's not an excuse. That's not better.
Look. I can't sleep. And anything other than water right now just gets stuck in my throat, okay? I can't eat, I can't sleep.
We know that he's gonna wake up.
I know. Kind of looks up at you, Zen. I haven't had friends for a long time, okay? And you guys mean a lot to me right now. I
I would hope
can't.
so.
I can't rest easy right now.
I understand that.
So just please don't say anything. We don't need him to worry about me.
I'll do my best, but if he asks, we know that he sees through anything we try and say. He'll figure out that if I try to lie to him.
Then don't lie. Just keep your mouth shut.
And then Nessa kind of walks back in with a pastry in her mouth, and she's like, "What are we not saying?"
Anything with our mouths full.
And then Nessa just kind of comes over, and she like just puts the glass of water, with a straw in front of Matt, and she's like, "Okay, drink. Go for it."
He takes the water and he slowly sips at it.
We've all cried enough. We can't lose too much water.
Make me a notice check, both of you, if you want.
Oh,
Okay.
fuck. Oh, explosion!
Ooh, 6.
Double!
What? Okay, I got an 11.
I
Yeah,
got
well, let's
17.
go, you guys. Not once. You guys looking at Matt right now, you can see his eyes are dry, his cheeks are, normal, and you don't remember seeing a tear once from him.
He's stronger than we are.
Nessa just kind of offers him, like, she rips off a piece of the pastry, like a small bite, and she's like, "Just go for it one at a time, okay, buddy?" She puts the piece in Matt's hands.
He takes it and still not looking away from Faye. He kind of just picks at it a little bit.
Better than nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Not
sure to keep sipping at that water.
He's mostly just playing with it in his hand, like nervously, almost like a fidget.
It's something
Nessa,
fidget, that's fine.
Nessa just kind of looks at him and is like, "Dude, if you don't eat faster, I'm gonna shove this entire thing down your throat so you actually..."
I'll eat when I can, okay?
And she just kind of stares at him.
I
I don't want to
promise.
force it too much, Nessa.
I promise I will eat when I can.
She's like, still staring, and she's like, "Don't make me get a nurse to put you on an IV. So you need nutrition."
I mean,
'Cause
honestly, if he had a drip, it'd probably go down easier.
Yeah, probably.
Then Nessa Nat stands up and asks for a nurse.
No,
Can you just
no,
get on an IV drip, please?
No. It's fine. I'll eat when I can, okay? Promise.
And Nessa kind of turns towards him, and she's like a little bit angry, and she's like, "Matt, eat the damn pastry."
I can't. I've already tried to eat before and I almost choked, okay?
Nessa's eyes start welling up a little bit.
I promise you, I will eat when I can.
Nessa just kind of stuffs a pastry in her mouth, and she sits back down, just chewing solemnly. Fine.
Just giving Faye's hand a squeeze again, just... Worried about you, kid.
Thanks.
And Nessa just kind of like puts her hand on Matt's back again, and she's just mumbles, "Sorry."
We all know you just want to take care of us, Nessa. It'll be fine.
I just wish he'd wake up already. And then she just kind of looks at Faye's face, just kind of sitting there. And I'm like, and she slowly reaches over and she's like, "Can we give Faye a smile?" And she just slightly like puts Faye's face into a smile.
Nessa.
He looks nice and peaceful that way, don't you think?
No, it looks horrifying.
And Nessa's just like gives out a little chuckle.
Um,
I need to see him smile more. Just give me this, please.
so, after a few hours, of you guys being sort of dragged out of the, or shooed out of the, infirmary by your respective masters.
Little grumble.
Yeah. But after a few hours and you guys are back in the infirmary, Rimna comes into the room and you guys smell just this strong smell of a variety of foods. And she's kind of comes in with a bunch of bags on her arms, and motions to one of the sitting tables. And can you bring that over?
Oh, absolutely, Master. And so Nessa gets up and immediately starts setting up the table.
She sets the bags down and starts pulling Tupperware out. And Nessa, you recognize the Tupperware. It's your mom's.
Oh,
Oh
and
god, we're gonna cry.
And then so she immediately starts like pulling open the Tupperware and she's like, "Oh my god, mom's cooking."
It is. There's ham, there's turkey, there's stuffing, there's mashed potatoes, there's green beans, there's sweet potato, there's all sorts of just varieties of Thanksgiving food, basically.
Nessa immediately like starts like spooning out like all the different things, and she's like, she turns to Zen and she's like, "Mom's Thanksgiving cooking is the best. You need some of this." And she starts like just starts piling stuff on her plate. And she turned to Rimna and she's like, "So how's my mom doing?"
She's doing good. When she found out that you got the reason why you guys were unable to come to the Week of Thanks feast, she wanted me to come and bring you guys food. So
Oh. And then she immediately pulls out her phone and like texts her mom saying like, "You're the best. I love you, Mom. Your food is amazing."
I just leaned down to Faye's ear again, like, "Come on, bud. You gotta wake up. You're gonna miss Nessa's mom's cooking. Nessa's gonna eat it all. She's not gonna leave you any. Come on."
And then Nessa turns and is like, "Rude. Of course I'm gonna leave some for Faye."
Well, we gotta try and wake him up somehow.
For
and
the
then Nessa
first
immediately like, yeah, immediately like Nessa brings her plate of food over and puts it under Faye's nose and maybe gets some mashed potatoes on Faye's nose. "Try this, it's so good. You need to smell it, Faye. You need to wake up right now. It's so good."
For the first time, Matt lifts his head.
Oh, bud.
And then Nessa immediately like gives her plate and puts it into Matt's hands, and she's like, "That's your plate." And then she goes over and like puts a bunch of stuff on another plate and brings it over to Sen, and she's like, "That's your plate. You guys need to try everything. It's so good."
So, as you guys have your little homemade Week of Thanks feast in the infirmary,
I also wiped the mashed potatoes off of Faye's nose.
we're going to go to break. Faye,
Okay, this fast.
since you fail, today is different.
Boy.
You see yourself, you almost feel like you wake up, right?
Right.
You wake up and all you can see is an empty void as you stand. What looks like you're standing on water
Oh.
with nothing but blue skies and white clouds
Oh.
forming through.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, you know where you're at.
I know where I'm at. Faye doesn't know where Faye's at. Okay.
If anyone's played Kingdom Hearts 3, you know where he's at.
This is bad. Okay, let's go.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
You
All right,
almost
I'm looking around.
Yeah, it's quiet. Eerily quiet. You kind of gaze along the horizon. There's nothing. What do you do?
Don't like to do this, but I'll kind of glance down at my reflection then, presuming there's water, right?
Yes.
Just looks normal. Everything looks normal.
You look down and you see this form of white with piercing red glowing eyes.
Oh, I startle. I probably even fall back, scamper a little bit.
Yep. You realize you fall backwards. You don't fall into the water. There's nothing wet. It's almost like a glass pane over top. But you see that the reflection moves with you and then registers this is a reflection. You look down at your hands and you see skin. You look normal to yourself, but in the reflection you see this monstrous form.
Oh. Okay. Well, seeing that it's moving with me and not at me, I cautiously get back to my feet.
Yeah, you stand up and it mimics you.
I turn my eyes away from that. That's too much. I'm gonna look around, start walking in a random direction.
Okay.
Kind of, hello?
You
Anyone?
begin to step toward, or in just a random direction. And you walk for a while. After a few minutes of kind of just drifting into the distance, you feel a tug.
I turn toward the tug.
You see Charithy.
Charithy?
Hey! What are you doing here?
Oh, I'm really lost. Oh, wow, I must have gotten hit in the head really hard by Rominic.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal.
Comforting. Where am I?
Well, you're here.
Charithy.
Listen, I don't have all the answers all the time.
Alright. So we're both here together. What do I do?
Well, think about why you're here.
I don't know why I'm here.
What is it we're supposed to... Right. You're here, and he kind of reaches into his pouch and pulls out this little paper. You're here to find... And he kind of squints. They always write so small.
Please, hurry. Out with it.
You're here to find... you?
But oh well, that's great. We'll be here forever.
Well, I mean, it looked like you did. And he kind of points down at your reflection.
Ooh, that sends a chill down Faye's spine. He sort of glances back down at it. Is it still the same?
Yeah.
I don't think that's me.
Oh, but it is. I mean, that's what you looked like during the fight.
I don't remember the fight.
Well, that's probably a good thing. You kind of got your ass handed to you.
Chatrithy, don't talk to me ever again. And he just turns around and abandons Chatrithy completely.
Wait!
Nope, I want nothing to do with you. I'm calling Gaia and I'm getting us reassigned.
No!
I'm gonna do it.
Please, I promise I won't be mean.
Well, we're both stuck here, so I guess I'm stuck with you anyways. So I can't get rid of you even if I wanted to. But when
Oh,
I get
I'm
out
not
of
stuck.
Here, well, then why are you here, Chatrithy?
To give you some help.
Oh, yeah, you're helping a ton.
I'm doing the best I can.
I'm sure you are.
He kind of bounds over to you and grabs your hand.
Faelan yanks it away. Don't touch me.
Look. It's scary. Finding yourself. Not all of us like who we look like. Not all of us like who we are. But it's still you.
Well, what am I supposed to do with that information?
Kind of sits for a second. Well, I like you. And the others like you. Even that, and he points down at the reflection. It's a part of you, and I like that. Because I like you.
Not for long. He keeps walking.
He's trying to keep up.
Faye is intentionally moving very briskly and making it very hard for Chatrithy to keep up with him. He's
Do you look
desperately
down?
avoiding looking down.
Okay.
No, he does not
I
want to
do
look
still
down.
want you to roll a notice.
Oh. Yeah, he does have peripheral vision, doesn't he? Kid, that's a 7.
So you do notice as you run, like as you're like quickly running from Chatrithy, your reflection is growing larger.
Oh, I freeze and I look down at it.
It looks down at you.
What are you? Sort of kicks at the water at his reflection.
It reaches forward as well. Chatrithy bounds up to you. Like I said, it's you.
Chatrithy, I get it. Alright, I get it. I don't need to hear you anymore. You can just go. You said you're able to leave. Leave.
He takes a step back, his ears pinned. I'm just trying to help, and then he poofs.
He just sits down. He curls up in the fetal position with his reflection. I know, he's being difficult.
No. I'm trying to think of how to word this.
Oh, great.
You sit there for a long, long time. Feels like hours. And every now and then you kind of glance down back at the reflection only to see that it never changes. And at some point you're kind of just, as you're sitting there, you feel a warm squeeze on your hand.
Sort of look down at my hand.
Nothing. Zen, Nessa,
Okay.
it's day 3.
Okay.
Oh boy.
All right.
You guys enter into the infirmary to see Matthew just holding Faye's hand. His other hand holding a can of energy drink.
Buddy.
Nessa just kind of lets out a sigh. Oh. And then Nessa goes and she knew that Matthew would be, doing this, so she brought a huge thing of water and hands it to Matthew, and she's like, make sure you actually stay hydrated. Caffeine can only do so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Zen reclaims his spot, just gives Faye a squeeze on his other hand. We're back, bud.
And then Nessa just kind of sits at the end of the bed and just, kind of, and she just kind of looks at his, feet under the blanket, and she just kind of, sneakily just starts idly tickling his feet a little bit.
That's funny.
Zen just chuckles. I don't think that's gonna work, but
You never know. He might be ticklish. We never found out if he was ticklish. You never know. It might wake him
he'd
up.
probably kill you.
And then she's like, well, he better wake up and pound me into a pulp then. I'm okay with that. And she's just still idly tickling, kind of hoping it'll work.
The negative reinforcement has only encouraged you. I should have expected this, honestly.
Uh-huh.
You guys, as you guys are kind of talking amongst yourselves and idling around Faye, Gaia does come back into the infirmary.
Oh, and
Morning,
Nessa
Master Gaia.
Followed by
Nessa
Rominic.
Nessa perks up at Rominic.
He
And she's
looks bad. He has he has the sleeves of his jacket tucked into his pouch, and it looks like one of the sleeves is empty. And he seems to be walking with a limp, and the cracks along his face are large.
Hey.
Nessa just kind of stands up, not threateningly, but she definitely puts herself between Rominic and Faye.
Romnick kind of looks over at Nessa. He gives a nod to Zen at the hay, and then looks over at Nessa like, I'm not here to do anything to him.
Nessa just kind of glares at him, tears kind of welling up at the edges of her eyes. She's just angry, but she doesn't she's not threatening him. She's just being like, I haven't forgiven you yet.
Gaia
He's
sighs.
angry and protective.
He's here because he wanted to check on Faye.
Nessa just kind of looks behind her at Faye, and then she just kind of gives a small, like, fine. And she just kind of goes over and she's like, Matt, do you need any more water?
Matt hesitates for a second before standing up. And he walks over to Rominic and swings.
Oh,
Yeah,
Nessa
let's
catches him.
go.
Can Nessa, like, catch him before he does that?
Make me a body roll. We'll contest a body roll.
Okay. Hold on.
It's not a fighter. I don't think this is gonna work.
I fucking love Matthew.
I love him so much.
It's a 2.
Okay. Yeah, he rolled a 12.
Jesus.
He exploded.
Swing with his whole Madosy.
Yeah, no, he swings and
He's
Rominic is
mad.
on the floor.
They kind of deserved that. If he doesn't
Matthew
accept he deserved that, then he's fucked.
Wordlessly goes back to his chair and grabs Faye's hand again. And Rominic staggers back to his feet after being knocked on his ass. I deserved that.
You
And
think?
Nessa kind of looks back at him and kind of just a little bit smug, and she's like, yeah, you kind of did.
I never intended for that to go the way that it did.
I would hope not.
It kind of was out of my control the second he did what he did.
Nessa just kind of sits down and checks Matthew's water, notices he hasn't touched it, and she's like, I don't think any of us meant for this to happen.
No. We all should have listened to Faye. This wouldn't have happened if we all just listened. Every one of us thought we knew better, and we didn't.
If I may say, it would have been a lot worse if this didn't happen.
Nessa kind of looked up at that and she's like, okay, explain.
He moves over to one of the energy drinks and grabs it that Matt has on the table. May I? Matt just gives a small nod. So think of it like this. You see the can? It's full of liquid, right? It's carbonated, but while it's just sitting here, it doesn't... as long as you open it without shaking it up, it'll be fine, right? He gives it He gives it one shake. That's one time he used darkness. He gives it another. That's another. Now imagine if I shook this another 15, 20 more times. What do you think would happen?
Nessa just kind of looks at him and it's like, I understand your point. But
if he continued to build darkness up so much in that little can of a body that he has, when it would release, there'd be nothing left inside of him. if too much built up. Because it would all just... And as a point, he like puts the tab in his mouth and pops it open, and it fizzes out. Pop. A lot worse than this.
Nessa still glares at him and is like, you should have told Gaia everything that you were going to do. And I mean everything.
Oh, I did.
That's on you. Oh, did you? And she kind of glances up at Gaia and and then glances back at Rominic, and she's like, did you tell her everything?
I told her that I was going to pop the seal. And
Nessa kind of rolls her eyes at that, and she's like, that's not... You need to be more specific. You need to, and she just kind of ruffles her hair and stands up, and she's like, you're supposed to actually, talk like a normal person.
Gaia kind of sighs as Rominic, well, do you think you would listen if I said that I was going to beat the snot out of him until he released that energy?
I think that Faye would have handled it a lot better if you would have communicated with him. Instead of launching into whatever fucking arrogant bravado you live with.
Listen, I had no idea it would go the way that it went. I already stated that. I can't control what happens when the darkness pops. I don't think really anyone can except for him. I just wanted to make sure it didn't consume him.
Nessa just sighs and is like, well, how are you going to make it better? How are you going to make it up to us?
To Faye.
He kind of grimaces for a second and glances down over at Faye.
An apology would work for a start.
When he wakes up.
I already planned on that, but... I have an idea.
Oh?
You said I was going to tell you.
And then Nessa just kind of loses it right there and kind of, storms up to him and kind of pulls on his shirt and is like, you better tell us everything you know. Faye is here in a coma and you put him there. You may not have been directly responsible, but you helped put him there. You need to tell us what you know, prick.
Stand angry, Nessa, for good skin.
Let's go, Nessa.
Stand angry, Nessa, for good skin.
Rominic looks unfazed as much as a porcelain doll can. That's not for me to decide.
Oh, and who is it? And then she
Glan-
kind of looks at Guy and it's like,
He glances
is this
over
for
at
you to
Faye.
decide?
All he does is glance over at Faye.
Nessa just kind of shoves him back and just like, what is he supposed to tell us?
What he
He
wants
doesn't
to
even
tell you.
know.
I'll work with him and see what I can do to help him. And then it's up to him to tell you guys. This is pretty personal. I mean, you wouldn't want to know everything that goes on in my personal life. I don't want to know anything that goes on in yours.
Nessa just kind of folds her arms and she's like, what makes you think that Faye is going to be willing to work with you again?
I kind of do think that Faye will, honestly.
Nessa just kind of looks over at Zen and she's like, can at least one of us be there while they're doing the stupid therapy coaching sessions, whatever Rominic has in mind?
That's not our decision to make, Nessa.
She's
We
like,
spent too long not listening to Faye, and that got us here. When he wakes up, he'll determine what we should and shouldn't know.
Nessa just kind of glares at Rominic for a second and then just sighs and then goes and sits down and starts chugging Matt's water.
Gaia puts a hand on Romnic's shoulder, which she is now out of the slings, although her arms are still bandaged up.
That makes sense. It was mostly just glass.
We are going to leave you be. This one here just wanted to make sure that everything was alright. Tomorrow we have an announcement. So, you may need to meet us in the meeting hall.
Nessa kind of sighs, but she nods and she kind of begrudgingly looks at Rominic and she's like, thanks for at least checking up.
He kind of just looks down at the ground. Yeah. Whatever. And they make their way out of the room. Faye.
We probably should have kept our cool.
Yeah.
Oh boy, Faye.
Yeah,
your
what's
turn.
up? It's my turn.
You feel the warmth leave your hand for just a second before it comes back.
Uh-huh.
What are you doing?
Well, I've sat for a while with my reflection.
At some point, you feel a tug on your shirt.
Again, I turn.
It is Chatrithy.
Chatrithy.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I really do want to help more.
I know, Chatrithy. It's not your fault.
Well, I might have figured something out.
Oh?
Well, we usually... at least I usually leave this place when I think good thoughts about myself and kind of accept it.
Oh, we're never getting out of here, Chatrithy. Well, you might get out of here, I'll be here for the rest of my days.
Well, I wanted to let you know. You may
Alright.
need to, face that. And he points down at your reflection.
I summon my Keyblade. What, in combat?
No.
I unsummon my Keyblade.
I wanted to let you know that the group has been with you this whole time. And it doesn't look like they're going away anytime soon. And it doesn't look like that's going away anytime soon. So, maybe for now, even if you don't like it, you just kind of have to accept it. There's a lot of things I don't like about myself, I don't like that I can't really think that well. But I still try.
All right, Charithy, I'll do my best.
And he kind of gives a little bit of a bounce. Because obviously he doesn't have a mouth. You can't see him smile, but you can see his mood is increased dramatically.
Just give me some quiet, okay?
Yeah, I'll be back. And he poofs.
All right, can I still feel the warmth on my hand?
Yeah.
I'll just sit down with my reflection then and try to focus on that warmth.
As you sit, kind of just staring at the reflection, you watch as it moves slightly.
What?
And forms itself out from the water, mirroring your sitting position.
I sort of look over at it, and then I give a tentative wave.
It mirrors you, actively.
I guess it's just me and me.
Even its mouth is moving with you.
Oh, don't do that. He stops talking. I sort of glance down at my hand that's relatively warm, and then I take my other hand, I just sort of look at it before I reach out and very carefully hold the hand of the other me.
Okay. Yeah, you reach out, and you see that the hand, obviously because it's mirrored, it's the hand that it reaches out with is the one that you feel the warmth in. Because you feel the warmth in your left hand, you reach out with your right, it reaches out with its left, and you see a band of it almost looks pink, just in the form of a hand holding it.
What might that be? Sort of tilts his head to look at it.
Head tilts as well.
I laugh because I think it's a little bit funny to see my actions mirrored.
It begins to laugh as well, and you see that the form softens slightly.
Okay, I think we can work with this. Now, how do we get back? He asks it like he's asking himself, like himself is going to answer.
It cocks its head.
Oh? So you can move without me?
It still mirrors, it's just now its head is cocked. Quizzically.
I mimic it. I'll mirror it in return. I'll play its game.
It straightens up and moves to stand.
I stand with it.
It goes back to mirroring you.
Okay. I guess we're just walking together then. He puts his fist before he's just gonna walk. Eeny, meeny, miny. Pick a direction. Does he feel a tug anywhere?
Well, as you go to step, it steps it steps towards you.
Oh. I step toward it. Close the distance.
Okay. Yeah, you guys step forward towards each other. It feels warm.
Don't suppose you know how to get back either.
It kind of cocks its head as well.
Yep. You really are me. Okay. Well, we gotta get back somehow. Don't suppose this empty place has a door.
You see it straightens its head back up and kind of sidesteps, and behind it is a door.
Oh, you can just do that. All right. Thank you, me. See you on the other side.
You step forward and it follows you as well. And you feel a touch. And you look down and you see it's grabbed your hand.
Okay. He doesn't let go. Kind of looks at it hesitantly, but he walks with it through the door.
You go to try to open the door and nothing happens.
Can you open it? He looks at his other friend, as him.
It looks over at you as well, mirroring you.
Really good at mirroring me when it's convenient for you. I'll give you that. He looks back at the door. I take the hand that...
Make me a mind check.
Yeah, for sure. That actually just went up, didn't it? Yeah, buddy. Let's go... that's an 8.
One thing that Chatrithy said kind of echoes in your brain. And it's accept yourself.
He sort of glances at the other him. He's like, all right. Okay. We are in this together, whether either of us like it or not. So we're gonna do this together, okay? And he takes the hand that they're both, that's holding, both holding, and he's going to try to open the door together.
You hear a click.
I'll be damned. And he walks through.
Alright. Your vision is blinded by this bright light. And there's a slight ringing in your ears, only cut out by the sound of voices. Voices you recognize. Voices of your friends.
As soon as I'm together enough to process things, he's gonna try to lurch his body forward. That's his first instinct.
Yeah.
Trying to sit up.
You lurch forward and you immediately hit your head.
Ah!
And you guys watch as Matthew tumbles out of the chair holding his head.
Oh, he just rubs his head because the first thing he did when he woke up is hurt himself.
Matthew immediately jumps up. Guys, he's awake!
Burr.
Yes.
Curious, is there any way I could roll for recognizing the warmth was Matthew?
Make me a... That's a good question. I guess make me a notice check.
Yeah. My area of expertise.
What'd you finally
Pretty
fumble?
good. No, he never fumbles this shit. That's a 6.
Yeah, you recognize that he was sitting... the chair that he stumbled out of is kind of right where your left hand would be. So you can only
put two and two together.
Yeah, you can make put two and two together on that.
I immediately grab his ass into a hug. Like, I'm really weak, so it's probably just like my fingers hooking his clothing, but like, gonna immediately bear hug Matt.
Zen, Nessa, you see this happen. You see everything. You guys are in the room.
Zen is just trying so hard to wait his turn, but he's just like shaking and he's crying again.
Matt's motioning for you guys to come into a hug. But he's hugging
Zen
back.
fucking wraps his arms around both of them. Just fucking face in Faye's hair, just sobbing. I was so worried about you.
Nessa?
Fine.
Nessa's just like silently sobbing, and she's going into the hug as well, and she's like, I'm so glad you're back. I'm so glad.
Okay, I'm fine, guys. I'm fine.
And Nessa just kind of pulls up from the hug, and she's like, you didn't feel me tickling your feet, did you?
What?
Nessa's like, nothing, and she continues giving him a bear hug.
Zen is just laughing and crying and
You guys
feeling so much.
You guys feel a form like trying to wiggle in between the four of you, and you just see Chatrithy pop his head up.
Chatrithy, where have you been?
And then
Helping.
Nessa just pulls Chatrithy into the hug, and she's like, where have you been, you little... And she's just like snuggling with Chatrithy too.
I've been helping.
Have you now? She kind of looks at Faye quizzically a little bit.
We're not going to talk about that. He sort of breaks the hug, because this is so much physical touch for Faelan. He tries to scoot back into his bed a little bit, and he's gonna, at this point, probably try to recall through the haze everything that he's heard so far.
Make me a body roll.
Zen's calling Master Gaia. Zen's jumping on his gummy phone and calling Master Gaia.
Based, good idea.
Nessa texting Master Remna.
That's 88. Do. That's not terrible. It's a 5.
Okay. You are starving.
Oh god, yeah, I haven't eaten in ages. I look around.
We still have the Thanksgiving food, right?
Yeah, you guys would have had to take it to your dorm in order to put it in a fridge, but yeah.
And then Nessa, like, does Nessa notice this?
His stomach growls.
Yeah, very loudly.
Okay, Nessa is like, stares into Faye's eyes, and she's like, don't you dare fall back into a coma. I'll be right back, okay? Okay.
I'll do my
And then
best.
she immediately zooms out to go get a plate of stuff for Faye.
Matt.
While Zen's calling Gaia and Nessa's doing that, Phelan's gonna sort of glance up at Matt and check on him a bit.
Matt's got this big welt on his forehead at this point.
I'm so sorry.
Why? I'm just glad you're awake.
Well, yeah, I did sort of concuss you though, and he's checking it.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm glad that you're awake. And he gives you a squeeze on your hand, and you recognize it immediately.
Oh, he just hugs him again. Faye is, yeah, a mess.
Yeah, he squeezes you back.
Thanks for being there.
Yeah, I'm just glad to have you back.
Sorry I had you that worried. He pulls back.
Honestly, you should say that to everyone else. Everyone's been worried. Gaia, Rominic,
How long have I been gone?
just a couple days.
Days?
Yeah, you've been out for a couple of days. At that point, you feel the cotton mouth.
Oh. Puckers his lips.
And then Nessa immediately comes back in with a plate full of like food, and she has like a huge thing of water, and she's like, "Okay, here you go." And she there's this little tray that like is over hospital beds, and she like manages to like figure that
Oh,
out.
he consumes
and
it instantly. With the hunger of a ravenous teenage boy, it is gone in a concerning amount of time, frankly.
And Nessa just
Nessa's
kind of
mom's
looks.
food. It makes sense.
And
For
then
sure.
and then Nessa's like, "Oh, make sure to drink water with that. You don't want to choke."
Oh, yo, she's chugging it. He does. That's probably gone as well.
Yeah, Matthew handed over the big thing of water that Nessa brought.
Yeah, it's gone. Everything's gone. Give this kid like a minute and it has disappeared somewhere in that tiny body of his. Like, for someone
Zen
this
is
small, he
just-
should not be able to put away food this quickly.
Zen's just in his phone. Master Gaia, hurry up. He woke up. Hurry, hurry. Get.
You get voicemail.
Oh, that's not good.
Uh-oh. I'm not gonna think about that too hard.
I'm not going to think about that too hard. He's going to call Vantis.
Van sends a text. We're a little busy. We will come by in the morning.
Alright. So
Okay.
he
just sighs.
Faelan puts the remainders of plate aside, all the dishes and shit. And he's gonna glance at all of them, he's be like, okay. Now for the not fun part.
Yeah.
Nessa
What the fuck happened?
Nessa immediately looks away, not able to meet Faye's gaze, but
Well,
still there.
They voted me. I got this.
That bad, huh?
Nessa just sits down and like is trying to stop the urge to grab Faye's feet like before.
Zen reclaims his chair. Okay. So that was a lot. The arena was sabotaged, so none of the safety measures kicked in. You and Rominic were trading blows for a bit, and then he cast a spell that triggered something, and you went into this form, this different drive form. It was complicated. That's more Nessa and Master Remna's territory, but
Or glances over at Nessa like, what in the fuck?
Nessa kind of glances up at him and said, Do you remember talking about the anti-form
Right.
in classes?
No, I get
It was a lot like it, but it wasn't black, it was white.
I think I have an idea of what you're talking about.
Yeah, it sounds very familiar.
Okay. Alright.
Nessa
Rominic okay?
Nessa nods.
He's
a little
getting there.
yeah.
Nessa
nods.
He's putting himself back together.
Literally.
Phelan's eyes widen.
So, you know how we've been saying he's porcelain? Yeah. So he broke.
I broke him.
You broke him.
But it looks
He
like
broke
he can,
you too. He can patch himself up,
Yeah.
though. He kind of turned into some... Do you remember the Heartless we fought in our dive?
In the very
Yeah, I
beginning.
remember.
It was kind of similar to that until he sustained too much damage and kind of turned into like a darkness puddle.
Who
It's-
stopped me?
Nessa kind of looks up and she said, "We all tried to,
We all did.
at some point or another."
Yeah, when things got bad, we rushed in and we knocked you out.
All right.
And Romnick made sure that we stayed up for it, so
Yeah. Rominic really did help out in that one. No matter
What
even
happened?
if
What'd he do?
he I don't know what he was I don't know how he was able to, but it looked like he used the last of his strength to heal us, so
which was very great of him to do. And Nessa just kind of shivered a little bit.
he
He's not all bad.
he meant well.
Overall, Romnick is an ally to us Fae. Even though, and she kind of just makes an angry face, and she's like, even though he's kind of responsible and
None of you
and
are
then
omitting
she,
any details to protect me, right?
Nessa kind of looks
We
up.
all got pretty hurt. Nessa went down. Romnick
Went down.
got her back up. Yeah. You
Nessa
Okay
just-
weren't.
now?
Yeah.
Nessa's eyes kind of well up a little bit, and she's like, "Yeah, we, in trying to help you bring you back to how you are. Yeah, actually did go down for a minute there. Rominic brought me back, which
His
was
heart rate monitor is being a little bit of a snitch. He looks very calm right now, but unfortunately he's rigged up so he can't hide it.
And Nessa just kind of takes one of Faye's hands, puts it on her chest, and being like, "I am okay. I am okay."
Pulls it back a bit and puts it back at his side. I know.
All right.
We only really needed a little patching up. We were good after a couple hours. We were fine.
We were just
All right.
worried about you.
Well, I'm fine now.
And Rominic wants to help when you're feeling better and you're able to get checked out. He won't tell us anything. He says that's your decision, but he wants to talk to you and help.
I'll talk to him about it when the time comes. His expression is pretty much vacant at this point. You're not reading a whole lot, unless you really try.
And Master Vantus is walking around and talking.
Master Remna is finally back.
Good.
And apparently there's going to be a announcement tomorrow.
Oh,
Which is a little weird. We
Yeah.
have no idea what it's about.
it's
No.
concerning.
And
Announcements are almost never good these days.
Yeah.
no, not really. But the important part is you're back.
Where are my masters?
They're still not back.
Right,
From what
of course.
we understand, they can't be contacted right now.
Which is really, really weird. And she Nessa picks up her phone just to see if Rimna has responded at all.
Yeah, she mentioned in a meeting, we'll get back to you soon.
All right.
We don't have the clearance to get more information, unfortunately.
And Nessa kind of folds her arms angrily at that, and she's like, "That prick Rominic wouldn't tell us anything. Neither would Gaia."
Master
Sure
Gaia
do like
says
keeping
there's
us in the
another.
dark.
Master Gaia says that there's another person who needs to all three give consent to give us more information.
Oh, we'll find out.
Speaking of Gaia, you guys get a group text from Gaia. It's very formal. It's good to hear Faelan is awake. We will bring the announcement to you guys in the morning.
Bring the announcement to us.
Like that.
I don't like that either.
Hey, on the bright side, now that you're awake, they can't kick some of us out at the end of the night.
Hopefully you won't have to stay the night here anymore. Maybe they'll let you spend the night in your dorm.
The nurse kind of peeks around the corner. He's here till the end of the weekend.
And Nessa just kind of like, oh,
He
come
tilts his
on.
head back against his pillow and just exhales in frustration. We'll see
Oh,
about
come
that.
on.
And
then
Quite
Nessa-
enough for his friends to hear, but also quite enough that it's out of Nurse's earshot. We'll see about that.
We need to keep an eye on him in case he goes back under, because that does happen.
Not going back under.
We get that.
Yeah, screw that. And then Nessa kind of looks at Faye and she's like, do you want anything else to eat? Is there anything you need? Anything?
I'm not
Would
angry.
you like some hot tea?
I'm fine.
Nessa kind of gives Faye the puppy eyes. You sure you don't want anything?
I am absolutely positive, actually.
Nessa is like, I'm going to grab the Moogle. And she runs back up to the dorm.
I don't know.
Can
who's
you
gonna
grab a
drink that,
couple
but it's not
books or
going to be
something?
me.
And Nessa's
You
like,
want to bring
yes.
him like a book?
And Nessa's like, yes, I will bring 3 books. And she goes up.
So you guys are all spending the night at the
The infirmary, yeah, it
Yes.
seems.
Seems like it.
Matthew kind of just looks between the rest of you and just, can I stay?
I don't really want you to leave.
I'll stay.
Faye nods. He sort of lays back down. He's got a lot to think about. He's not really present with any of you. Like, you're all trying to lure him back into conversation with books and things, but he's not there.
After a minute, Matthew conks out, by the way.
Yeah, Matthew's snoring out like a light, I'm sure.
Nessa comes back with the Moogle
gets
and
to
a
be on
couple
the
of Faye's
Company
books.
couch.
For expediency's sake, because we do need to wrap up here in just a minute.
Oh god, we're gonna get the announcement cliffhanger and then we're all gonna get shitted on and we're gonna have to wait another 2 weeks.
I'm gonna
Please.
cry.
And do pay attention to the message I sent to you 3.
Okay.
There's a message.
Okay. Okay.
What does that mean?
Oh, here we go. No, wait, I'm not asleep.
So,
Brr.
come the
Oh,
morning.
no.
Come the morning, you guys hear the infirmary door open, and you see Gaia walk in. Good morning, you 3. You 4.
Good morning.
Nessa just doesn't really say anything. She's like,
Due to some issues that have been occurring in the safety of our apprentices and the need for better teaching opportunities, we have recruited and hired a new master and professor.
Nessa looks up at that.
This is so fucked.
This is fucked up. I hate you.
They were insistent on meeting all of the apprentices. So, if you would like to enter. You four,
I'm traumatized.
Faye, Zen, Nessa, Matthew. This is Master Stella. She will be the professor that will assist with the assist Remna in the studies of light and darkness. And that's where we'll end today's session.
No, you're not even gonna let us react? We got at
Oh
least
my
4
God,
minutes on the
yeah.
clock. Come on!
You're a monster! What the fuck is wrong
I
with
can't
you?
do this.
For God's
You don't
sake.
even get to react.